So we've got a full moon in Aquarius coming up here early week. It's an interesting full moon which activates the Venus retrograde story, which is opposite it in Leo, deepening during this full moon. And it's also interesting because Pluto's not there, Saturn's not there. It's a full moon in Aquarius that can maybe elucidate or call forth some of the pure Aquarian in a way, some of the useful Aquarian, you might say. We can really feel into maybe that sector in ways we haven't been able to because it's been taken up with these more difficult energetics. So stay tuned, full moon in Aquarius, breaking it all down. Here we go. All right, the drumbeat of reality, full moons and new moons, right here. We're gonna talk about it. My name's S.J. Anderson. Welcome to my channel where I talk about the transiting astrology. And I love it. I love just checking in. What's the new moon trying to tell us as it peaks here, peaking lunar energy, and this expression through the sign of Aquarius. I think of the syzygy moments with the luminaries. It's like shining a light. I've often used that analogy. It shines a light on the horoscope, the transiting horoscope, but it filters through where the moon is. The moon the closest to us in the classical planetary sphere model. So wherever the moon's expressing, whether new or full, that sign becomes prominent in terms of the filter of reality. And of course, the nature of that sign includes planetary rulers, its sign significations, the stereotypes around that sign. There's a whole, many a century or millennia, mythology / meaning set that comes with signs. And so that's one way always into a moment. What sign is the moon in? And if it's full or new, it's underscored even more deeply. And what is the energetic of that sign? And of course, where is it in your chart? What house does that sign comprise in your whole sign chart? Those house topics are majorly in play. And we get them every 15 days, every 14 to 16 days, depending on how fast or slow the moon moves. And so it's a wonderful way to ride reality. And that's what I try to do on the channel. That's why I love these. So let's dive right into the chart. So you can see here, full moon in Aquarius, 1 August 2023, 1831 UTC. In Aquarius, the 10th degree of Aquarius. The thing right away to mention is that the fixed axis contains both benefic planets, and it has for a while now. No more lunar nodes, no more Saturn in Aquarius or Pluto there. So this is what I was saying earlier. It's kind of a pure expression a little bit of this Aquarian and the fixed axis. This may be the time to check in with yourself about how you're recovering from the difficulties of last year, of 2022. That we have Jupiter and Venus now alone in the fixed axis all summer is a real marker for healing, settling into that Jupiter and Taurus energy, that rebirth of Venus and Leo. What is identity? What is comfort? What is pleasure? Where is there truth now that's come to heal all of the difficult Saturn square eclipses, all of 2022 in fixed signs? Now that's over. And so that's one major theme here. I think this series of syzygies, this whole lunation cycle, this whole time of the sun in Leo season will be a punctuation and a calling forth of how the fixed axis has survived 2022 and is now in a healing phase. Saturn is in Pisces, averse to the full moon, yes, and ruling the full moon by domicile, but it's still blending through the Piscean. And I think that aversion can be nice on the one hand. There's some kind of deep, structural, imaginative, maybe the unconscious might be the best word here. We're working in the unconscious with Saturn and Pisces, and that does rule this full moon. And so there's something there with that maybe dissonance. There may be some unconscious rumblings that are highly operative here as you're moving through this week. And then Saturn is opposing Mercury. So those two rulers of the moon, Saturn and Mercury, are in opposition in Virgo Pisces, and the full moon is averse to both, to that opposition. So there's some mixed energy here. There could be the challenge that comes with Mercury opposite Saturn and the mutable nature of those signs. A lot of activity, blurred nature of reality, challenge maybe with thinking, trying to find details and being blocked or delayed or brought into a confusion state. Those are all themes of this Saturn-Mercury opposition. But then you have this Aquarius moon, which relies on those planets in opposition. So there's something there as well. I mean, if you're having stress and confusion, and I think more here intellectual, mental, or verbosity with the word play, this could be a major theme of this eclipse moment. And I think it's okay to go into that. You may rely more here on the aspects to the full moon, which is Jupiter and Taurus, and Venus in Leo. And this whole, bodily and identity benefic healing model as a strategy to process these maybe unconscious, confusing states that are emerging. Okay, and I just said here, full moon in the fixed axis, angular to Venus RX, ruled by Jupiter in Taurus and the Sun in Leo. That mutual reception between Jupiter ruling Leo by night triplicity and Venus ruling Taurus by domicile, and that fixed flywheel of truth and hope and abundance and wisdom and all of those benefic significations, comfort, pleasure, revelation, truth. We get that with this full moon being angular to those energies. And so we're back into this identity revamp and the luscious creativities and pleasures. Okay, I talked about all this here on the last slide, but I had a whole slide for it. I'm just going to move on. Underscoring here, the fixed axis does get some healing now. And that can very much help with this syzygy. I like that everything about it, except for that aversion with the rulers in opposition, which adds a kind of harsh layer here. Okay, what is Aquarius? It's innovative breakthroughs based on long-term thinking and intellect. Saturn is great ranks. Mercury is innovation. They're the two primary rulers. So there you go. It's structures of reality based on new ideas and implementing things that are creatively applied to structure our reality in certain foundational ways. Technology comes through with Aquarius. So there may be some kind of breakthrough you're having, some kind of tech breakthrough in terms of just the stereotype of Aquarius and having a full moon here, angular to both benefics. Mercury and Mars in Virgo opposite Saturn and Pisces. Tension, detail orientation, tensions, and confusion might propel. So as everything I just talked about, but the productive feature of an opposition, the challenge, sometimes it's the only way to get to a solution. I mean, you hear this over and over again with people. There was challenges on the job, and then creative innovation, that Aquarius was used to meet a challenge. And I think that's something about the Aquarian as well, where you see people that are there's the humanitarian stereotype. And where I think it comes in is that Saturn has a rough edge. That's challenges, Saturn is. And as the ruler of Aquarius, the Aquarian energy is like, let's meet some challenges through mercurial innovation. So it's often about challenge. And so with that opposition also being very challenging, look for some kind of breakthrough here, innovative breakthroughs that this full moon moment may be pulling you into. Dreamscapes and landscapes. That's Pisces are the dreamscapes where Saturn is, ruled by Jupiter and Taurus, the landscapes. This very earth and water night sect energy and this supportive reception, Saturn being received by its domicile lord, Jupiter and Taurus. Those things might support the innovative breakthroughs. You hear these scientists, they were having a dream. There's so many scientists that say it was a flash of some kind of vision. I think Tesla writes about his breakthroughs. There's others that they just said they were on a walk in nature and all of a sudden they realize things. And then they come back and put it through the technological processes to invent and then make material and tangible. So those two things can work together. And I know Aquarius is averse to Pisces, but it's not averse to Taurus. And so there's something here where these dreamscapes and landscapes might undergird these technological, innovative, ideas as they arrive for you. Okay, let's dive in to the news stories I'm watching with this full moon in Aquarius. We have to talk about the Congress UFO hearing with this individual, this so-called whistleblower, whose handler is like deep in the military industrial complex and the intelligence community. I'm personally skeptical of all this. I'm open to being wrong, but I watched some of the clips here. The guy just didn't have good energy. He appeared to be lying and acting, in my view. And that's not me saying that UFOs aren't real or something like this. I mean, I think there's all kinds of mysterious entities and beings that we are sharing reality with, but I'm not really certain that these kind of official military narratives are trustworthy given the individuals that are conveying them and the track record of those institutions. That said, this is quintessential Aquarian. I mean, the one thing that is the Aquarius stereotype is the alien. And so we have now aliens arriving, and it's a big part of the current conversation, just as the moon will become full here on 1 August. So there's this story that I'm looking at. And then the next one was Meta's Threads sees dwindling engagement as social media fatigue might be gripping users. So Threads launched, and it's basically a dud right out of the gate. It looks like right now, I mean, these things can change. They might put more money into it and keep making it better. But it appears, and I talked to some people here, they're like, yeah, I'm deleting my Threads. I was on it a day and it's boring. I've seen a lot of statistics confirming that. And so, but the thing I was going to focus on is the idea of social media fatigue. Let's say that's part of the reason why people don't want to be on Threads. It's another platform, another thing to sign up for. I feel that. I've been feeling that for a couple of years now, trying to get rid of platforms and get rid of apps, messaging apps, and get down to just like one. I only want one. I have X now, is what Twitter's called. So I have the X account, I have YouTube. I'm gonna try to get to some comments in the next few days, and I'm not even that good at replying to things in the comments. There's a lot of platforms, emails, WhatsApp. I mean, all of these platforms where it's just a barrage. I find when I wake up, it's just a barrage of messages all day, every day, you know. And so this is the Saturn and Pisces. This is that confusion, dreams, this Aquarian Piscean dance. It's like innovative tech, but now it's these dreamscapes and confusions. And where does it all end? That's Pisces. It's the last sign. It's the ocean, right? It's the endless water. Where does it all end? Why can't I just get a break and just relax and rest a little bit? I think social media, this posture that people may be feeling of the fatigue, could be part of the Aquarian breakthroughs of this full moon moment for you, because what will you do with the knowledge of that fatigue? What apps do you want to keep? What's the breakthrough around how you want to manage your social media space or your screen time, or how you engage with these platforms? There could be some kind of new self that emerges, you know, Venus being retrograde and reborn right around this time, and then having like new ideas. So like for me, it's like I pick the one or two platforms I like and then cut everything else out. That's what I've wanted to do. But anyhow, you might find your own version of that for your own preferences. Okay, and then finally an election. I wanted to bring in this Taurus moon that arrives without the lunar nodes in Scorpio Taurus. So everything I just talked about at the beginning of this talk was that the fixed axis is now freed. Well, this is the first election that's really good in the fixed axis since the lunar nodes left the fixed axis, because you get the moon applying to Jupiter here, and I'm looking at 8 August at 8:48 UTC. That's in the morning, 08:48 UTC. And the moon is very close to applying to Jupiter. In Reykjavik, Iceland, you can get this in the 10th house with Venus in the 1st with the sun. But you can see benefics dominate the ascendant and the 10th whole sign house. And Mars and Saturn, that opposition is trining and sextiling this Taurus moon, and the nodes are reversed. I mean, this is a really nice chart. It's a waning moon, but still, you got to do some elections for some stuff. This is one you could do a lot worse with. And so it's beginning a whole series of fixed moons. That's the major theme with elections for me over the next however long. It's the fixed moons, actually for a long, long time, really until Mars enters Scorpio. Then you have Mars in a fixed sign. But until October, these fixed moons, it's over and over again. Fixed moons, get the benefics, get the angles with the fixed angles. What do I have here? Perfect time to get into pleasure as an identity imperative, nature, delving into nature to find self, figuring out what is pleasurable, what do I need or want. I'm releasing a Venus retrograde video with this where I delve into those topics around Venus retrograde. So it's a perfect time to do all of that. You know, what this might be. If we go back to the idea of social media purges, maybe this is when you delete some accounts. You could use this, a waning moon, to delete accounts or to leave platforms. That would be a way to go. To review the past, to break and to take a break from the Mercury, Saturn, Mars opposition. So Saturn is opposing Mars and Mercury in Virgo, Saturn and Pisces. This could be a break. Like, you may want to just drive to the beach here. I can just get on a bus and go to the beach, or go into the park, or do a picnic, or do something restful and soft and nature oriented. Even if you're busy, you know, walking 5 blocks a different way to a park to sit for 10 minutes and meditate or eat a sandwich or something, that could be this. Then pick back up and get back into your busy life. But use this one. I like it a lot. 8 August 2023, 0848 UTC. Okay, that's it for this video. A little bit of a shorter one, but I wanted to come in and express some thoughts here about the full moon in Aquarius, as I enjoy doing. Take care out there. Enjoy this full moon, as much as you can. Really, my message right now is resting, going and waiting and healing with a Venus retrograde. Then Mercury is going to be retrograde in August, a full retrograde for Mercury towards the end of August. So we're really in a period of rest as a primary, imperative. Relax and rest. Build that in as much as you can right now. I'm doing that, actually. That's why I haven't been as active. I've just been resting. And so, but this is my message to you. Have a great one, a great full moon in Aquarius. We'll talk really soon. Peace. Bye-bye.